On day 31, we will be driving down to Seward. We will look along the road as we go, and then we'll look around a lot in Seward before spending the night there. When we head out, it's cloudy, and soon we're passing Potter's Marsh. We'll stop for a little bit at Beluga Point. We don't see any beluga whales, but we do see some Dall sheep up in the mountains.
Shelters thee under his wings, yes, so gently sustained.
As we head on around Turnagain Fjord, it continues to rain. Soon we've rounded the end of Turnagain Fjord and headed south through the Kenai National Wildlife Refuge.
And in the caribou tundra, in the wild barren land, on the fierce Arctic ice where the polar bears stand, where the trail of the Eskimo hunter is worn, this is the country where legends are born, where the northern lights blaze above a cold Arctic haze, and caribou come to an old shaman's drum. In saloons and in dance halls they talked of the gold. There were stories of fortune, stories of cold. The trail of the weary gold miner is worn. This is the country where legends are born, where they measured a man by the gold in his hand, the speed of his gun, or the dogs he would run. We came here to settle, to build a new land. In her mountains and valleys, in their cabins they stand. The trail of the hardy homesteader is worn. This is the country where legends are born. These fields you see now were broke by their plow, and their children have grown to build homes of their own. And in the caribou tundra, in the wild barren land, on the fierce Arctic ice where the polar bear stands, where the trail of the Eskimo hunter is worn, ah, this is the country where legends are born.
Once we arrive at Turn Lake, we'll get out and look around some and take a rest break before heading on down south. Next we'll stop in Moose Pass so we can eat some lunch and look at the United Methodist Church here.
Waking or sleeping, thy presence my life. Be thou
Then it's time to continue on towards Seward. When we get to the Bear Lake Road, we will get off for a main road for a while and explore some in the countryside. There are many camping places here to pull into, and they're all reserved for the upcoming holiday. And back on the main road again, and soon we're arriving in Seward. Seward is actually a very small town located between the mountain and Resurrection Bay, and as you can see here, there's not going to be a lot of exploring with the small craft harbor to the top. As we drive through town, we see our hotel on the left, the Best Western Hotel. Next, it's time to head down to the harbor and explore there some. While at the harbor, we experienced some traffic we hadn't anticipated. A boat being dry docked. Next, we drive through downtown looking at the shopping experiences. We're also looking for wall paintings, for there are dozens of walls here with exquisite paintings on them. Now we head back to the harbor and watch the people who are fishing for salmon. With the holiday coming up soon, there are a lot of people camping down here. In fact, there are campers everywhere along the shore. We park and get out and look another beautiful view across Resurrection Bay to the mountains on the other side. And there are salmon jumping out there. They love to jump even when they don't have to. Floating amongst the boats, well, there's some sea otters. It's a beautiful day to be out exploring, and also a beautiful day to be on the water. It's pretty calm and bright skies. A little cool. We get out and walk along the shore. There's the founding marker for Seward. And also on along, place for Deborah to sit, and mile marker 0 for the Iditarod race. This is where it all starts. It ends in Nome. Back in the car, we head down the west bank of the Resurrection Bay on Lowell Point Road. We see the Lowell Creek Bypass waterfall, and then we're on the narrow road that runs along Resurrection Bay's western shore. We go exploring some of the roads in Lowell Point, and then it's time to head back to Seward.
Peace on earth and joy in hell, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
On the way, we pass the fish processing plant, and there's Sea Life Center, the only aquarium in Alaska. We'll visit there later. And now we head back to the harbor to eat. We'll be eating at the Alaska Seafood Grill.
Today you left Anchorage behind and headed south on the last leg of your trip. I hear Seward is a wonderful place to explore nature, and I know you will see some awesome things here. Have a wonderful time exploring in the backcountry on the way there, and look all around the city. That will not take long since it is much smaller than Anchorage is.
And this brings us to the end of day 31.